They unalived Dr. Sebi. You can't tell me anything different. Let's get right into the subject matter. Dr. Sebi's background and rise to prominence. Born Alfredo Darrington Bowman in 1933 in Honduras, Dr. Sebi, who had no formal medical education or licensing, began his career not as a healer but as a self-described steam engineer. His journey into alternative healing reportedly began after experiencing health issues himself and finding no relief through conventional medicine. According to his own accounts, he traveled to Mexico where he was cured by herbalists, an experience that inspired his life's work. Dr. Sebi's transformation from engineer to healer occurred gradually through the 1970s and the 1980s. He established the USHA Research Institute and later the USHA Healing Village in Honduras, a compound where he grew medicinal herbs and treated patients using his developing methodologies. He approached combined elements of traditional African, Caribbean, and Central America herbalism with his own theories about disease causation. Self-taught methodology. Without formal medical training, Dr. Sebi developed his theories through personal experimentation, observation, and the study of traditional healing practices. He claimed to have cured himself of diabetes, impotence, and obesity through his developing nutritional approach. Dr. Sebi initially gained recognition by treating patients in his Los Angeles office during the 1980s. Word-of-mouth testimonies from clients who claimed dramatic health improvements helped expand his reputation, particularly with African American communities. A fellow African helping other fellow Africans. We see where this is going, right? Okay. Controversial claims. His rise to prominence accelerated after he began making bold claims about curing serious conditions considered incurable by mainstream medicine. This is when the problem comes in, including AIDS, cancer, diabetes, and lupus. These assertions attracted both devoted followers and significant illegal scrutiny. Also, no surprise, man, that's America for you. They want to profit off of your pain, they want to profit off of your illnesses and diseases. And Dr. Sebi was coming up with answers, but let's get back to it. By the 1990s, Dr. Sebi had transformed from an unknown figure to a controversial alternative health guru with a growing following. His distinctive appearance, often dressed in white with a long beard and charismatic speaking style, helped cement his image as a wise healer, reconnecting people with natural healing traditions. This period marked the beginning of his broader influence that would eventually reach celebrity circles and establish him as a polarizing figure in the alternative health movement. The alkaline diet and Dr. Sebi's nutritional approach. At the core of Dr. Sebi's health philosophy was his African biomineral balance theory, which posited that disease fundamentally results from mucus accumulation in the body caused by consuming foods that create acidic conditions. According to Dr. Sebi, the human body functions optimally in an alkaline state, and disease cannot exist in such an environment. This theory formed the foundation for his nutritional guidelines, which differed significantly from conventional dietary advice. Dr. Sebi's nutritional approach centered on a strict alkaline vegan diet limited to what he called electric foods, specific fruits, vegetables, grains, and herbs that he claimed were best aligned with human cellular structure. Notably, his approved food list excluded many common staples like wheat, rice, and beans, which he characterized as hybrid foods that cannot properly nourish the body's cells. Instead, he advocated for what he considered natural, non-hybridized alternatives like spell, commute, and armathat. That's kind of hard to pronounce. A key distinction of Dr. Sebi's approach was his emphasis on the cellular level. He theorized that the cells should only be properly nourished by foods that match their electrical composition, drawing controversial parallels between cellular structure and his approved plant foods. This cellular theory led to his unique food categorization that often contradicted established nutritional science. The alkaline acid theory. Dr. Sebi believed maintaining blood pH between 7.4 to 8.5 was essential for health. He claimed disease thrives in acidic environments and cannot survive in alkaline ones. His improved foods allegedly helped maintain this optimal alkaline state, though mainstream medicine notes the body tightly regulates blood pH regardless of diet. Approved versus disapproved foods. His diet strictly excluded all animal products, alcohol, and many common plant foods. Approved foods included specific fruit like berries and seeded fruits, right? Not that, artificial watermelons and all of that they making with no seed, a seedless watermelon. Anyways, non-starchy vegetables, certain nuts and seeds, and herbs. Notably, many nutritious foods like carrots, mushrooms, and all were forbidden as hybrid or acidic. Fasting and cleansing. Dr. Sebi protocol often began with fasting, herbal cleanses to detoxify the body. He claimed these processes remove accumulated mucus and toxins, allowing the body to heal itself once the alkaline diet was initiated. His regimens typically included his proprietary herbal compounds for this cleansing phase. Aspects of Dr. Sebi's approach align with established benefits of plant-based eating, increased fiber, full-time nutrients, and reduced inflammatory foods. His specific theories about cellular nutrition, food categorization, and disease causation remain outside mainstream nutritional science. Nevertheless, many followers report significant health improvements when adopting his dietary guideline, which naturally eliminate highly processed foods, refined sugars, and other commonly recognized inflammatory substances. A black man got his name up off of helping other black individuals improve their health gradually, right? And so when he's making these bold claims that he can cure this and that, well, of course, the rebuttal from white America, Eurocentric standpoint is that, they wanted to debunk him, and, they wanted to minimize him for not being a licensed doctor. Controversial health claims and legal challenges. Dr. Sebi's most contentious legacy stems from his extraordinary health claims, assertions that repeatedly brought him into conflict with regulatory authorities. At the center of these controversies was his claim to have developed treatments that could cure wide ranges of serious diseases considered incurable by conventional medicine, including AIDS, cancer, diabetes, lupus, herpes, and sickle cell anemia. These claims were primarily based on testimonials rather than clinical trials or peer-reviewed research. 1987, that was a New York case. Dr. Sebi was sued by the New York Attorney General for making therapeutic claims without a license. The case gained notoriety because Dr. Sebi claimed to have cured several patients of AIDS and produced them as witnesses in court. While some supporters claim he won this case, legal records indicate he was prohibited from making therapeutic claims in New York without a license. 1993, newspaper advertisement. Dr. Sebi placed controversial news advertisement in major newspapers claiming to cure AIDS, which drew further scrutiny from health authorities and led to additional restrictions on his marketing claims in several states. 04, FDA warrants. 2004, the Food and Drug Administration issued warrants about several Dr. Sebi's products, particularly those marketed as treatment for serious condition. The FDA cited unsubstantiated health claims and concerns about customers potentially delaying conventional medical treatment. 2016, Honduran arrest. In the final legal challenge of his life, Dr. Sebi was arrested in Honduras on charges of money laundering and illegally carrying a large sum of cash across borders. He died in custody, adding fuel to the conspiracy theories regarding his work and death. It's quite the coincidence that this man was, yes, he was older, he was up there in age, but just coincidentally, once he went in, and once he was incarcerated, once he went in to prison or whatnot, he ends up making a transition. Everything was fine before he went in. What does that tell you, man? What does that tell you? The core of the legal challenges stem from the fundamental conflict between Dr. Sebi's approach and established medical practice. He claims to cure serious disease without conventional clinical evidence, violated regulations designed to protect consumers from unproven medical treatments. Health authorities were particularly concerned that vulnerable patients might abandon proven therapies in favor of his methods. Why is that? Because most black people don't trust white America doctors at all. Shoot, most Americans probably don't trust They're Americans. You know what I mean? I mean, goodness gracious. And I'm pretty sure Dr. Sebi wasn't charging like an arm, a leg, a toe, a head, like the average clinical institute. At these legal challenges, Dr. Sebi maintained a devoted following who pointed to success stories as evidence of his methods. His supporters often framed these legal battles as evidence of establishment resistance to natural healing methods rather than legitimate concerns about consumer protection. This tension between regulatory oversight and claims of alternative healing remains central to the discussion of Dr. Sebi's controversial legacy. Celebrity endorsements and popular appeal. Dr. Sebi rise to broader prominence was significantly amplified by endorsements from celebrities and public figures who credit his methods with improving their health or curing specific conditions. These high-profile supporters helped elevate Dr. Sebi from an obscure alternative leader, alternative healer, to a recognized figure in popular health discussions, particularly within entertainment circles. I've been stumbling over my words all day, man. Maybe I need to start wearing my glasses. Y'all ain't know I was wearing glasses, did y'all? Musical artist Michael Jackson reportedly consulted with Dr. Sebi during health struggles. Left Eye of TLC became one of his most vocal advocates before her death. Common, Erykah Badu, so Common and Erykah Badu, y'all know they used to be together, and other artists have referenced his teachings and interviews. Nipsey Hussle was reportedly working on a documentary about Dr. Sebi before his transition. Actors and media personalities. Steven Seagal publicly supported Dr. Sebi's method. Oprah Winfrey reportedly discussed his approach on her platform. Nick Cannon expressed interest in continuing Nipsey Hussle documentary project. Several social media influencers have popularized Dr. Sebi approved food guides. Increased celebrity discussion after death in 2016. Social media testimonials from figures like Cardi B. Several rappers have referenced Dr. Sebi in lyrics. Of Dr. Sebi's approach within celebrity circles stem from several factors. Many entertainers face physical demands that make health optimization particularly valuable. The entertainment industry also embraces alternative and holistic practices more readily than some other professional sectors. Additionally, Dr. Sebi emphasized on African heritage, resonated with many black celebrities seeking health solutions aligned with cultural identity. Pretty much saying that, hey, you're black, I'm black, I just trust you more. That's all it was. And then white America got mad at that, and you know what they did to him next. Allegedly. These celebrity endorsements created a powerful amplification effect when renowned artists and entertainers credited Dr. Sebi with health transformation and lent his controversial claims a credibility that formal medical validations couldn't provide for his followers. This celebrity effect particularly bolstered his influence in communities that already harbored distrust of conventional medical institutions. However, the celebrity connection has been double-edged. While expanding Dr. Sebi's reach, it also intertwined his teachings with celebrity culture in ways that sometimes oversimplify his complex and controversial approach. The association with fame have been popularized and potentially distorted his health philosophy, leading to varying interpretations among followers who came to his teachings through celebrity recommendations, rather than direct engagement with his original materials. Nevertheless, some aspects of Dr. Sebi's approach do align with scientific findings. His emphasis on whole plant foods, elimination of processed foods, and reduced consumption of inflammatory substances has support in nutritional research. Many followers report improvements in conditions like inflammatory disorders, digestive issues, and metabolic problems when following his dietary guidelines. Benefits that may that increase fiber intake, consumption and elimination of processed foods, rather than his specific theory about alkaline or cellular electricity. The scientific community largely views Dr. Sebi's specific therapeutic claim as unsubstantiated, while acknowledging that components of his plant-based dietary approach may offer health benefits through established nutritional mechanisms different from those he proposed. This nuanced perspective recognizes that beneficial health outcomes can sometimes occur even when underlying theories is questionable. The business of healing. Dr. Sebi's product line. Beyond his philosophical teaching, Dr. Sebi developed a substantial commercial enterprise centered around herbal supplements and wellness products. His business operations spanning from in-person consultation to a global product line that continues to generate revenue even after his death. The Dr. Sebi Cell Food Company became the primary commercial vehicle for his approach, offering herbal compounds purported to address specific health conditions according to his nutritional theories. Of course, critics have questioned both the efficiency and the pricing structure of these products without FDA approval or independent clinical testing of the specific formulations. Therapeutic claims associated with many products remain scientifically unverified. Some skeptics argue that the business model monetizes hope for vulnerable populations facing serious health challenges, while supporters contend that the product represents valuable traditional knowledge formatted according to Dr. Sebi's specific understanding of cellular health. Oh my God. Cultural impact and influence in the Black community. Dr. Sebi's impact extended far beyond individual health practices, resonating particularly deeply within Black communities across the United States and globally. His teachings found fertile ground among people who have historically experienced disproportionate health disparities and institutional medical mistrust. The appeal of his approach was multifaceted, combining practical health guidance with elements of cultural reclamation and empowerment. Central to Dr. Sebi's cultural resonance, was his frame of health sovereignty. He positioned his nutritional approach not just as medical advice, but as a path towards self-determination and liberation from systems perceived as failing Black communities. This message of health struck a powerful chord among people who experience discrimination within healthcare settings or witness health disparities firsthand. Its emphasis on connecting health practices to African heritage provided a cultural framework that many found meaningful, but suggesting that traditional African approaches to nutrition and healing were better suited to people of African descent. Dr. Sebi offered an alternative to conventional Western medicine that honored ancestral wisdom. This cultural dimension transformed dietary choices into acts of identity, affirmation, and resistance against cultural conspiracy theories surrounding Dr. Sebi's death. Dr. Sebi died on August 6, 2016, while in custody in Honduras following an arrest for money laundering, according to official reports. The 82-year-old herbalist died from complications of pneumonia after developing the illness while incarcerated. However, the circumstances surrounding his death immediately fueled widespread speculation and conspiracy theories, particularly amongst his followers and within communities where his teachings had taken root. So like I said, my opinion on it is, what I said in the beginning. Like, nah, man. It's fair to say. I mean, look at all of our pivotal, I guess you can say, Black I don't want to say role models, because role models is subjective, so I'll just move on. Another topic, another day. Pharmaceutical industry involvement. The most prevalent theory suggests that pharmaceutical companies orchestrated Dr. Sebi's, can we say this on YouTube, unaliving to prevent his natural healing methods from threatening their profits, which is highly likely. Proponents point to his claims of curing diseases that generate billions in pharmaceutical revenue, arguing that his elimination served corporate interests. The medical establishment conspiracy. A related theory proposes that medical authorities, possibly including government agencies like the FDA or CDC, arranged his imprisonment and death to suppress information challenging conventional medical paradigms. Supporters cite his legal battle with health authorities as evidence of institutional opposition. Suppression of African knowledge. Some followers frame his death within a broader historically pattern of suppressing indigenous and African healing traditions, suggesting his elimination was meant to prevent the reclamation of traditional knowledge that would empower black communities independently of Western medical systems. Connection to Nipsey Hussle, the 2019 unaliving of rapper Nipsey Hussle, was reportedly working on a documentary about Dr. Sebi, intensified conspiracy narratives. Some theorize both unalivings were linked to prevent the documentary from exposing truth about Dr. Sebi's approach and his legal victories. These conspiracy theories have gained remarkable traction through social media, YouTube, documentaries, podcasts, celebrity endorsements. While lacking substantive evidence, they resonate with historical patterns of medical exploitation and pharmaceutical profit-seeking that have affected marginalized communities, such as the black community. The theories also align with broader conspiracy narratives about suppression of natural cures and corporate control of healthcare. Several aspects of these theories remain problematic. Dr. Sebi's advanced age 82, pre-existing health condition, and the documented pure conditions in Honduran prisons provided a plausible medical explanation for his death. The money laundering charges that led to his incarceration were consistent with his own practice of carrying large cash amounts across borders. Additionally, pharmaceutical companies have historically co-opted rather than eliminated profitable natural remedies when evidence supports their efficiency. But it was more so like a slap in the face for a black man to be like, you know what, I'm gonna heal my community. That's more so what it was. Get what I'm saying? Nevertheless, these conspiracy narratives have themselves become an influential part of Dr. Sebi's legacy, reinforcing both skepticism towards medical authorities and dedication to his healing protocols among his followers. The persistence of these theories reflect broader social dynamics of institutional distrust and ongoing search for empowerment through alternative knowledge systems. Dr. Sebi's complex legacy defies simple categorization. Neither uncritical embrace nor complete dismissal adequately addresses the nuanced reality of his influencing teachings. A balanced assessment requires a knowledge of both the scientific, problematic aspect of his theories and the potential value in certain elements of his approach, particularly within communities historically underserved by conventional healthcare systems. From a scientific perspective, Dr. Sebi's specific claims about curing serious disease like AIDS and cancer remain unsubstantiated by rigorous clinical research. His theories about cellular electricity, food categorization, and mucus as a single source of all disease contradict established biological understanding. These aspects warrant healthy skepticism, particularly when they might lead to people forego proven medical interventions for serious conditions. However, core elements of his dietary approach align with evidence-based nutritional guidance. The emphasis on whole plant foods, elimination of processed foods, and reduced consumption of inflammatory substances has substantial support in nutritional research. Many who adopt these aspects of his approach report significant health improvements, particularly for conditions with known dietary influences like inflammatory disorders, digestive issues, and metabolic problems. Perhaps most importantly, Dr. Sebi provided a cultural, resonant health paradigm that engaged communities often alienated by conventional medical institutions. His approach offered agency, culture, affirmation, and practical guidance that motivated many toward healthier dietary choices, benefits that should not be dismissed even when specific theoretical claims are questionable. This cultural dimension helps explain why While his influence has endured and expanded despite scientific criticism. The most constructive approach to Dr. Sebi's legacy might involve separating potential beneficial practical recommendations from unsubstantiated therapeutic claims. Many fathers have already adopted this nuanced stance, incorporating elements of his nutritional philosophy while maintaining relationships with conventional healthcare providers for serious medical conditions. This integrated approach recognized the potential value and his emphasis on plant-based nutrition, preventative health practices, and cultural connections without accepting his more problematic assertions. Ultimately, Dr. Sebi's lasting impact may be less about the specific details of his theories and more about the broader conversation he catalyzed regarding food as medicine and the reclamation of traditional healing knowledge. This conversation continued to evolve, hopefully towards approaches that honored the cultural significance of his work while embracing the benefits of scientific validation and evidence-based practice. So hopefully you guys got some insight. So I like giving these lectures or whatnot, and especially when it's so this is recent. Dr. Sebi's transition is pretty recent. It's happened within the last decade. So I like to keep everybody up to date because, of course, as the generations keep on coming, we need to remember these things. So this is me doing these presentations is like a time capsule just to keep everybody in the know. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we don't like going from information that we think is like outdated, so to speak. So how can I explain this? 20 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what I just presented to you guys need to be presented again. You get what I'm saying? If you like this video, comment thumbs up, comment, subscribe. It's half free game.